Hi guys, Isaac here with Elias and Wimp Company. I got a fun video of Torrance Fisher and I from Sword Guy Builds doing a live on Instagram where we took questions and gave each other a huge hard time and had some laughs, had some good discussions. I hope you guys enjoy. Check it out. Here's the video.
Hey!
Oh, Tory.
Oh man, the sound quality on this is okay, not great.
You're coming through on mine pretty good.
Okay, it just cleaned up. That's pretty cool. Let me think. I'm trying to figure out where I can like set my thing to be. I'll figure it out. I will figure it out eventually. Hey, what's going on, Kristen?
Hey guys.
God. Yes, that works. That's fine. Give me just a minute. I'm going to grab some stuff to make some knots.
Cool.
What are you working on right now?
I got crackers coming out my ears, man.
well, that's how we go.
Ready for this?
Whoa! you look like you've been on like a D&D adventure and you just like 6 nylon goblins and that was your spoils.
Yeah. But believe it or not, it's amazing how good like crackers work for like juggling practice.
Oh, gee. It's my fault really. For a second I thought you were being serious. I was sitting here going like, oh, he's been using them for like whip juggling and stuff like that. I wonder if they do change the dynamic. That's what I get.
Super serious whip conversations are happening already. So what are you working on knots with? Or what are you knotting up?
I've got this bullwhip that I started this morning and it's just something for the in-stock page.
Nice.
And I'm just throwing on other finish work. Gonna be doing my little chain link like knot that I like, and I'm sure it's got an actual name, but I've never learned it.
Mm-hmm. Professor Apollo's wondering what the hell's up with your hair.
Oh, well, Professor Apollo needs to learn his place. That's a buddy of mine. Actually, I guess you've probably met him, but you can bring that wheat garbage right out and know that I am not putting on a hat. So, all right. Oh, thank you very much, Christian. It's gonna look a lot nicer when I'm done. Know what I mean? I'm kidding. It'll look the same.
Looks something like a whip.
Yeah, roughly in that realm, yeah. Let me think. How's flight school going?
It's good. I actually just ended up calling off for a break for a while because of all the COVID stuff. They have the school like super shut or locked down, so like you go in for like your flight and that's it. Because usually when you could go in, hang out with like the other students and talk ideas and stuff like that. But now it's just nothing.
I'm sure it's really difficult right now. Saw some awesome shots that you posted on the Facebook though.
Oh yeah, that 600-mile trip.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the one. No,
Yeah, it was crazy, dude.
How much longer do you have left in the program, or or would you have if everything was still like flowing smoothly?
I should have been done start of August, but it looks like so it'll probably be like start of September maybe, depending on how long the suspension, or I keep on the suspension for.
Sure. Yeah, that's kind of rough. Not terrible, I guess, though,
Yeah.
all things considered.
But it's like if I'm paying a lot of money for this school, it's like I want to get what everyone else gets out of it.
That's tough. Uh, yeah, good luck, man. I'm sorry that this all like coincided with your schooling.
That's all right. It's good for business though. I mean, you've been throwing stuff up like crazy on the. What's up, Paul?
Hey. Uh, yeah,
Uh,
thank you. I'm I'm trying to be productive, and it's like it's dumb because like I work from home. My world has not changed that much, and yet it
right.
it feels like it's been a big change. Real quick, Christian, do not think that I didn't see your jab at my hair again. Way to keep it fresh and come up with new material. Come back when you have something that means something.
You got to go after his kung fu moves. That's his best material.
Hurts my feelings. Uh, that's all messy. Let's see. We are getting some fun big names like uh I don't know whatever the name of the guy is in LA that like makes whips sometimes. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that guy who says he's from the Midwest but like makes whips out of LA.
Oh yeah, how lame, right? What a loser.
I mean, I gotta love the Midwest, but if you, uh, I don't know.
I'm also kidding, and I love you, Paul.
Yeah, we're both Paul. You're awful.
Let me think. So the productivity and all that stuff is sort of a double-edged sword for me because it's like it feels good knocking all this stuff out, but at the same time I start realizing the the patterns that I have that I wish I didn't uh basically I'm just trying to say that like I find myself braiding out a lot of the same geometrics and stuff,
Oh yeah,
and I wish that I don't know. I'm just boring myself, I guess.
yeah,
And I keep trying to like every time I finish handle braiding or whatever, I go like, oh wait, I could have put this in that, or I could have done this, and oh, why did I make it so basic or so similar to the last one or whatever, you know? And it's just like I don't know, like it all looks fine, but I just can't stay excited about it, you know?
I got you.
Uh, it's cool seeing newbies doing pattern work and stuff though, because it's
Oh
like
yeah. Um, uh,
I didn't realize this thing was gonna go uh, so like consistently trash talky. I to a certain extent I brought it on myself, but at the same time it's like, oh God, do I be a professional about it or do I have fun with my friends? It's like
well, he just gave you the triple middle finger, so
I thought we were tight, Paul. Oh man. Uh, anyway, yeah, it's cool seeing newbies doing patterning and stuff, but it's also like I don't know. Part of me honestly like feels threatened when I see uh, people doing all their pattern work and stuff because I'm like, oh wow, that's actually pretty intricate given how early this person is in their whip making, you know. But then I remember that like face plat exists, and it's
yeah.
like I don't know that I have mixed feelings about it. Like obviously it doesn't compromise the fact that they still did that, but it's like
Mhm.
I don't know. In a weird way, it lets me still feel like superior. It's like, yeah, but I didn't use face plat. And it's like, yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. I don't know. Yeah, mixed feelings.
Well, you got the cool calling card with your crazy intricate knots that you can do, where like you leave the spacing out and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Those whips still impress the crap out of me every time.
that's very kind of you. Yeah, I guess I decided to make this one the chain link look like standard on the signature nylon bullwhip, uh,
Mhm.
and the stock whips, I guess. But yeah, I've been doing this on basically all of them that are like two tone. If it's
Yeah,
three colors, then I do like I put all three colors in the
in
uh
the heel.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's just yeah, you don't see it very much, you know. And I mean, I first saw this knot on a whip by Evan Fava,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
and actually I don't remember quite how he did it, but it was all I remember is that it had those little like bird's eye looking guys in it, you know. And I was like, oh
Mhm.
wow, I didn't even know you could do that. So I just started like experimenting with it, you know.
Yeah.
It's not as
Uh,
actually kind of convenient because it's like even marginally quicker to tie than a herringbone, even though it's technically like the same two Turk's heads interwoven, you know.
oh yeah.
Uh, but whatever. Nothing means anything, and everything is pointless. I'm joking, but not really. Let's see. We got
The real Matt
oh
Cav.
oh. Uh, Thank you at the real Matt Cav. Uh, that actually means a lot to me. I always appreciate when people say that they that they like seeing my work. But uh, let's see. If y'all have questions or whatever, uh, get them up there, and Isaac and I will do what we can to field those questions. Because I'm definitely fighting to like find words to keep this all interesting, and I'm sure that Isaac also is to a certain extent.
Yeah, I mean we can keep sitting here and working and give each other a hard time, or we can answer questions. I mean, I can give Tori a hard time pretty much all day,
I've noticed that a
but
bit.
that's not all that educational either.
It's educational for me. Tells me who's on my good list and who's on my bad list.
Yeah.
You're on the bad list. Everybody's on the bad list. I don't like anybody. Everybody's awful. Uh, looks like this knot here is almost done. Oh, that one's for you.
Uh, I just do it because it works better, or it gives me something to wear. Otherwise, it's just some random T-shirt I got. So, uh,
Oh, God forbid you look like a normal human being.
oh yeah.
Uh, no, actually, I like that you have uh, company shirts. It's like I don't know. It's one of those admittedly little things that I think really sort of sells the relevancy of the brand. You know,
Helps me feel a lot more professional than I actually am.
all of us need that little boost. I mean, I,
It's
I
like,
prefer to focus on stuff that matters, like craftsmanship or whatever. But you know, you can wear
yeah,
it.
I mean, we all have our niches.
It's yeah. So we got this. Find a good angle here.
Oh,
Yeah, there we go.
nice.
Yeah. Not gonna throw a little Turk's head there on the transition zone. Give me a minute. I'll throw it away for a sec.
Any new tools are we using, Tori?
Uh, if anything, I am using fewer tools than I was in the beginning. Uh, since I have somewhat of a platform here, I will get on my soapbox about binding real quick. I don't like I don't like binding nylon whips anymore. I feel like it's a crutch that a lot of people use to I don't know, like it justifies not really investigating the medium, you know?
Mhm.
Like it's like if you can just put an extra material in there and suddenly your whip is better, it's like, yeah, that's obviously appealing, but in that same way, it's sort of robbing you of the it doesn't it doesn't beg for experimentation in the same way as just like braiding tightly or like even just whatever. Anyways,
Or
that's my whole thing. I just I just wanted to throw that out there while there are people paying attention.
or I think it was Paul. You can tell me if this wasn't your quote, but it was Paul that said
I'm
what
almost certain I can guess what you're going to say, and I'll be fascinated to know if I'm right.
what distinguishes like a novice from a much better whip maker is not that you can plate tightly down the whole whip, but that you can control the tightness of your plating, where it starts tight at the handle and then moves looser and looser as you go down the whip.
That is
And you
definitely
can,
not what I expected you to say, uh, and that definitely sounds like something that Paul would say. Let's see.
what a policy.
I appreciate you, Christian. Yeah, I don't know. To a certain extent, I do still have to like try and play it seeming professional, but it's also like I don't know. If you can't joke around and be silly on a meaningless like whatever this all is, then when can you? You know.
Yeah. As
The correct answer
quarantine.
is when you're not in a business setting.
Right.
Oh man. Let's see.
How did we get into whips?
How did we get into you? I'll go first because mine is like sort of a non-story.
Okay, go for it.
My friend named Joe is an Indiana Jones fan, and he got into whips because of that. But he got me into whips just because I don't know, he cracked a whip for me, and I was like, oh wow, that's the best thing I ever saw, and I'm into whips, and that's my whip making origin story.
Nice. I got into whips um, off of the fourth Indiana Jones movie was the first one I saw, the one that everyone hates.
Okay,
So that I saw,
interesting.
and that made me watch the other three, and I like the other three, but I still can enjoy the last one, which is kind of a cool way to see it.
That is interesting. I'm
But
sure that a lot of the purists would sort of
oh yeah, no.
look
Whenever I
down.
tell someone, they're like, "What? That's how you did that?"
We don't all follow your silly Indiana Jones cookie cutter developmental whip introduction. Uh, uh, I don't know. Whatever. I thought that was
Yeah.
going to be funnier than it was. Let me think. Matt just
Uh,
asked.
Alternatives to binding.
Okay. Yes. There are there are a small handful of different braiding postures that I use when I'm doing this stuff, and each of them has its own type of efficacy, you know. So if we're just talking vaguely about like the transition zone of a bullwhip, which is I'm going to say inarguably like one of possibly two most important whatever it's one of the most important spots in the whip. Yeah, but it's all important, otherwise it won't move right. It's like, yeah, but I'm making a point. So it's like if you braid especially tightly in the transition zone, then ease off your tension for the rest of it. You won't be able to avoid having some measure of transitional rigidity, right? So it's like So when I talk about my different braiding postures, I use those for the sake of establishing that transitional rigidity. It's like if I hold it in this way and pull very tight, then I can expect a lot of tension to be retained. But if I hold it this other way and still pull very tight, then it will still have a good amount of structure to it, but not as much. So
Right.
I know that I can do that step to like start easing off the tension, and then by the end of the whip, basically not putting any tension on it at all.
Mhm.
Relatively speaking, of course.
Yeah. So to where you're pulling tightly, so you keep that transition to more so you're laying your strands in place at the very end and tugging them down gently and so they sit nicely.
On certain whips, yes. I think for the most part, like this stupid 4-foot bullwhip is sort of an exception in terms of my bullwhip construction and tension. But generally speaking, a full size nylon bullwhip, I'm pretty much braiding the entire overlay pretty tight,
Pretty
just
tight.
because the wax also like just changes stuff. It's like
Right.
you
It
can
really does.
you can have a whip that is pretty good and then wax it, and it might like be brought that slight extra step to like being excellent, or it might even take a step backward and now it's like weird and behaves in a way you don't like. So it's like you really need to experiment a lot if you're doing that. But
Right.
that being said, not waxing sort of takes out a variable, and it's like you
Mhm.
make a good ass whip that just doesn't uh, you can eliminate that variable and still just have a high performing item.
Yeah.
So here's what we got here so far. I'm gonna cut off the
Very nice, sir.
excess, and yeah, thank you. Jeez.
I guess I'll show you my pile that I've been.
Yeah.
That's what I got so far.
You're a machine. And,
It is. I've streamlined this process so fast.
nice.
I mean, as you saw earlier, I have a bit of experience.
No, that's awesome. I'm lucky enough to actually have my sister making my crackers for me. So it's really convenient. I can just throw money at her and say like, I need this many crackers, and she's like, oh, okay, I'll get you. Because it's
Yeah.
like that is definitely one of my most hated parts of the process, is just making crackers.
Oh yeah. I like it because I can, like, for a whip, I when I'm plating, I usually have to pay a little bit more attention. My hands have been trained enough that I can just kind of let my brain wander or put on some Netflix or something like that and just kind of
Cool.
crank out a couple hundred in a day. And it gets rid of old paracord gut.
God,
Hey,
miss
POV's
me
on.
with that. A couple hundred crackers a day. I'm not in that game. Oh man. Let me think. If somebody were looking to buy some crackers from you in these deeply trying times, what would they be looking to spend?
Uh, I just probably about 50 cents a cracker. I want to get up a thing on Etsy or something. I haven't done yet, but for like $5 for 10 or something like that. Something cheap because I'm just trying not to. I mean, anyone can make their own crackers, and I'm just using basically things that I would throw away as from garbage from the old paracord guts. If I was using like some Dyneema or Kevlar, uh,
Then you'd
then I
spend a little
then
more.
I might change it up a little bit.
I feel
But
that's awesome. If anybody is watching and does not know crackers, really, that is a very, very good price. You should definitely get crackers from Isaac. And Paul asked something.
and yeah, Paul's
Whip
asking.
that you've made, and did you keep it? Uh, You go first. I actually this
Uh,
is a
the
tough
favorite
question.
my the favorite whip I've made, I still have. I did it as kind of an experiment, and it turned out great. It's that I know you've handled it, um, but it's that young indie one that I made a while back.
Ah, shoot, I did like that one.
I can go grab it and show it off.
Yeah, that'd be
Uh,
awesome. You
Give me
should
two
grab
seconds.
the purple one, blue also.
The one with the blue handle?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
those two next to each other look really nice. Let me think. At this point, I feel like I don't really every whip that I make, I try to make it something that, I would love to have in my own collection. So it's like to a certain extent, I always have that same degree of attachment to the whips. I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. It's my greatest work, you know. But
Yeah.
ultimately, they pretty much all, just like a woman, they'll always leave. Uh, that was supposed to be funny, but it came out in a really weird way. Uh, let me think.
But here's
Nice.
my young indie, and and I'll give you the shout out for this one for your amazing hitch style that I tried on this one. I've
You're
only
very
seen you
kind.
do it, so I give you credit where credit's due.
That's kind of you. I have no real connection to that. Like like if I haven't told you how I came up with that, like it was an accident. Like
Yeah, I know, but
I
I still
needed to
give you
like
credit for it.
oh great, everybody recognized that Tory like messed up and now there's a geeky fall hitch that looks unstable but is not like I don't know. Now, did you already show the
And then,
yeah?
yep, and then there's the
Oh,
variant with the blue handle.
I like that one. Especially seeing the two together, it's like oof.
Yeah, they're a cool sister pair between the two of them.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, Still trying to think if there are any that I've made that I would. You know what? There was there was one that I made sometime last year, I guess, probably late last year.
Uh-huh.
That I was really excited about, and I know that Paul hates it because it had like a really dumb looking like pattern laminated wood handle uh,
Uh-huh.
with my signature terrible shapes, you know. But
Oh, come on. You
I don't know. I really I wonder if I can. It doesn't look like it. Whatever. Yeah, it was a rawhide. It was red and saddle tan, 20 plat, and that one like I do definitely wish that I had been able to like hang on to it, just keep it around longer than I was able to, you know. But
was that one you shot off with Sword Guide Dungeons? Was one of the first or one of the earlier 20 plats you did?
uh,
Or was that or that one
actually,
might have been pure red.
I think it might have been for right now. I think it is the only 20 plat rawhide that I've made, but
Okay.
it, it was the highest strand count at the time. And yes, I did post that one to Swordsman's Dungeon. Uh, I'm doing a terrible job of keeping that one like manned, you know. Uh,
Yeah.
but it's like I don't know. I still even have mixed feelings about whether I even want to like continue using that one because it's like I'm not doing a lot with it anyway. And if I just tag my stuff on Sword Guy builds differently, then it's like I would draw the same. I don't know. I don't know. If anybody has input for me, definitely listening.
If any of you guys are into the kinky whips, let Tori know.
That's not what I said, but yes, let me know. I have to grab something.
And hey, Kit, by the way, I saw you joined.
Let's see who was that?
Kit,
Oh, Kit's here.
Fluting Butthead.
Hey. I definitely want the world to know that I love Kit. He's a very good dude and a very solid whip cracker.
That he is.
Let's see, what is yeah. Uh, oh, uh, yeah. I mean, Kristen, thank you very much for investing in my stuff over the past year or two. Uh, Always a pleasure, and I will. I don't know. Look forward to networking in your circles when I finally do that. Uh, Matt, I don't think I understand your comment. Total brands is tough. It's the same product. Are you talking about buying nylon is difficult when thanks splitting? I might need you to message me later to clarify. I want to. If it's a question, I want to see if I can help, but I'm not following right now. Sorry, buddy. But let's see. Willing to lead a whip making classroom on Zoom.
That'd be something fun to try and do.
That would be cool. Okay.
Splitting your accounts.
What'd you say?
Splitting your accounts.
Yeah, that's
over the same product.
It's not okay. So the reason that I decided to split those two accounts is so obviously there's the sports side and there's the fetish side, and I was trying to keep them separate, just because there are kids that follow the one account and stuff like that, and I need it to be more like family friendly. But at the same time, from a business standpoint, I feel like I owe it to myself to try and get that other market. So I was trying to find a stupid place to put phone so that I don't. Maybe this thing that I made specifically for this purpose can help. Anyway, so that's kind of why I decided it would be a reasonable choice to try and split them up. But at this point, I'm just not convinced that it's doing what I need it to. So
Yeah.
it is tough, but I'm not sure if there's a better way to do it.
And then
would you rather
going
use
back,
nylon or poly for crackers? Each of them has their place. You wanna talk about this one?
I mean, I use nylon just because I use my leftover guts. I was checking out one of Adam's videos, or it might have been April Choi, and I know they talk about using polypropylene crackers for theirs, mainly because it gives a little bit more fluff and it looks a lot better on stage.
That's true. That's fair.
But
Let me think. Yeah, I feel you. The part that's frustrating to me about the cracker situation is that it's like there are so many different types of plastic, and I mean, like in a broad sense, you have
right.
polypropylene, nylon. Other ones that we don't necessarily use in this field, but that exist, are like polyethylene, and I think there are several others. But it's like even between nylon and polypropylene, it's like the stuff like the nylon that you find in spools is like stiff, and the nylon that you find as the filler strands in paracord is very soft and flowy. So it's like I haven't gotten to experiment much with that, but I presume that there would be a functional difference, And the same goes for polypropylene. It's like the stuff that you buy in spools, or the polypropylene that you can get as like Mason's, you know, is soft and fluffy and does not last very long. But
Right.
propylene that like the fat white stuff that I think April and Adam are probably talking about.
More like the Baylor's twine kind of.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. I haven't seen one too close up recently, so
I know that. Geez, I think Simon Martin sells that stuff like in little spools, comes in a little box.
oh yeah.
But it's like, yeah, it's similar to baling twine in a way. It's stiff and it's got a lot of body to it, and it makes a lot of drag. So it's like if you're doing the round type cracks, you know, and if your whip is a little on the heavy side, they're awesome. But it's like I've noticed that they make flicks a little tough.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a trade-off with everything, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I haven't gotten the chance to experiment much with. There's so many variations, you know.
Yeah. I was doing some looking on
Later, Christian.
yeah, see you, Christian, and we'll Tori and I will maybe talk about doing like a Zoom lesson or something like that where we can.
I thought you were going to say Tory and I are going to talk about you behind your back.
No, we would never do that.
Oh, I would.
You were looking down. You didn't see the wink.
Oh, okay. Nah, you're with me.
But have a good one, Christian. But I did a little experimenting yesterday. I saw on one of the Facebook forums, someone was talking about or asking like what makes the loudest whip.
Yeah, that's right. And talking about like difference in strand count or length or heaviness,
yeah,
that sort of stuff.
and so I was looking and doing some experiments with crackers and seeing because I know like if you have like a really thin cracker, it'll break the sound barrier a lot quicker and easier.
Say that all again. It was buffering for me.
Oh, you're good. I was doing some experiments with like the thickness of crackers, like if you can get like you'll always have like a bang, but it can be like if you use a thinner cracker, it can be like a louder, sharper, or if you use a bigger one, you'll have to put more effort into it, but you'll get the nice, lower, throatier, more impressive bang out of a whip.
I feel like I might disagree in a small way, but you should keep going and I'll chime in at the end.
But like when you get so much fluff, because what I was doing was making a normal cracker like this, but then putting like twice the amount of tassels on the end.
Okay.
And it slowed the whip down so much, or the end of the whip down so much that it wouldn't. You had to put so much force into cracking the whip that it didn't crack smoothly anymore.
Interesting. So it's like.
And fluff length looks like it plays a big part as well. Thank you, Paul.
Yes. For a second, I thought he was just like after chiming in so many times, like messing around and just like razzing us and stuff. I thought that he was probably. I don't know. But Paul and I have a weird relationship anyway, so it's like I expect him to say mean things to me all the time. So that's my fault, really. Yeah, so it's like. So I feel like you need the cracker to do let's say two things. You need it to actually spread the air apart so that you get your crack right, but you also need it to be and this is what I think the fluff length and the the fluff length and the fluff volume and all that. I feel like the reason that's important is that am I being dumb? Is it possible that well that didn't really do what I expected it to. Let me think. So yes, the size, the volume of the tassel, it's like you need it to spread apart the air so that you get a loud crack, but you also need it to be super fluffy so that it ensures that like that's the last part of the whip to move, you know?
Right.
That also facilitates a solid crack and ease of use, because it's like
Mhm.
when your cracker like wears down and you stop having like tassel on it and stuff,
Yeah.
it starts moving like more chaotically, you know? And it's like
Hmm.
really feel that when you start doing like complicated moves that need to move
Hmm.
real fast. But it's like anyway, yeah. So I think that is that's why I feel like yeah, the big foofy cracker is always eh, but everything's got its pluses and minuses. I can't justifiably say, oh yeah, a bigger, fluffier cracker is always better, because it's like it's nice if you're doing like this, like you said, for like a heavy, like a single crack type whip.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just
If you just want something to be big and loud, versus if you want something to be nimble and be able to crack a lot more effortlessly.
that's right. They're going to be like those little decisions, those little variables that you pick differently based on
Right.
what you're trying to do. Oh man, uh, hopefully have this. If I can get this whip that I'm working on right now finished like today, then that'll be very gratifying. I just started this at maybe 7:30 or 8 this morning, so it's like I don't know, just
All
gratifying.
different tools for different needs. Cool.
Yes, yeah.
Very true.
Here's a guy who knows what time it is. It's like he's been doing
Yeah.
this for a while or something.
Yeah.
That was for you, Paul. Uh, oh man, yeah, I was really excited because so the other day one of the first uh, orders came through on the new website, and I spent the last couple of days filling that. And then when I went to copy down the shipping information a little while ago, oh wow, 20 seconds is yeah, that's crazy. Uh, when I went to go get the shipping information, uh, I noticed that there was another order in there. Luckily for an in stock, a clearance item. Uh, so it's gratifying because now I know like okay, the system is working the way I need it to, and people are like starting to see the website, and I'm like yeah, doing something right, you know.
Yeah, the website looks great, by the way. I don't know if I've told you that,
Thank you
but
very much. Because your approval is my lifeblood.
I know mine doesn't mean crap, but
I'm really noticing that I do enjoy being mean, but I also have a good amount of guilt attached to it, because it's like I just want to be nice to people, but at the same time you get that pent up like hostility. Like don't you ever just want to like dig into somebody, just like let them know what's up? So I end up doing that with my friends, and it's like okay, well that's not right.
I practice whips. My skin's been hit plenty of times. I'm not gonna dig any farther than I'll let you.
Give me time. Shoot, come on, there we go. So now we'll get into the nitty gritty stuff. So Hook versus Vice, the great whip making debate.
Oh man, and
Oof.
uh,
Shoot.
to POV operator, shoot me a message or shoot us a message, and we'll talk there.
I think I shoot. I'm such a jerk. Forgive me, POV operator. I know that we have spoken. I know your name. I am not remembering it right now. I'm so sorry. Yeah, if you want to talk sometime, I'm sure both of us will be down. I think. Okay, so I actually do want to talk about this. Even it's been talked to death, but it's like it's still one of those important
Hook
things.
versus Vice.
Yeah. So obviously, like Paul has already said with the, I know, I'm sorry. Uh, like Paul has already said with the crackers, it's like, yeah, different tools for different jobs. Uh,
Mhm.
what is okay? What is your experience with uh, Vice versus Hook?
I don't have too much experience with Hook,
Okay.
um, other than watching Peter Pan and stuff like that.
Oh,
Um,
goodness. I guess you had to, but I'm still disappointed.
uh, when uh, when I'm starting like an English eye whip, I'll start like off an awl off my vise or off like a screwdriver or something off my vise. But where I'm at the moment, living wise, putting a hook in a wall isn't the easiest thing to do. Um,
Uh, that's fair. Uh, I think
um,
if, if you wanted to, yeah, no worries, Matt. Have a great day. I'm sure we missed you, knowing now that the delay is like 20 seconds. Uh,
Bye, Matt.
anyway, so not that you asked for my advice, but it's like if you did want to experiment with the hook stuff, uh, if you've got like a banister or literally anything in your house that you can wrap something around, just like tie a loop out of some nylon, and then hang like an S hook on it, you know, and like that's now you have a hook, you know.
That's
Uh,
true. Um,
Interesting. I'm always surprised when I hear people say that hooks help them keep their braiding straighter, because that was one of the things that I feel like I struggled with. Well, still struggle with uh, keeping my braiding straight, obviously, but it's like especially on a hook where nothing is like holding it steady. I feel like I have trouble with that.
I think the good thing about like plating on a hook though is because it's a lot more maneuverable. You can flip it over, check the backside instead of having to like do this under a table.
That is that is my least favorite thing, man. Yeah, like
Uh,
right now, I think the only time that I use my vice is, well, I guess there are two times. Uh, when I'm yeah, when I'm the overlay on an English eye bullwhip, I use the vice, and when I'm doing stock whips, like matched, well, even a single, I would probably do the same. For stock whips, I have this uh,
oh, yep, your
three,
stick.
yeah, 3/4 inch dowel that I clamp in the vise, and I can hang two stock whip keepers on it. You know,
Mhm.
I can do that for the handles and the thongs, uh, and it keeps them open to the same diameter, and that's very helpful.
Yes.
But everything else I try to do on the hook, just because. And actually, I mean, big surprise, but it was Paul who originally got me like experimenting with that, and his
Mhm.
argument to me was, it's like the vice weighs a minimum of like 5 pounds, right? And it's like
Right.
you are in the field, and or let's say you're at the LA Whip convention as a salesperson, you know,
Mhm.
comes up to you and asks you to like service their whip real quick, and
Oh
you
yeah.
and you only know how to use a vice. It's like, okay, well, the table's there, like maybe the jaw on your vice will open up wide enough to like bite onto the table. Maybe it won't.
Right.
Nothing. You can't provide that service. Uh,
Right.
but it's like, you know that there are trees there, so it's like, yeah, just string something around the tree, hang an S hook on it, and now you can do
That
anything.
is very true. Right.
Or, I mean, depending on what you're doing, there's also a way, again, that Paul showed me. You're welcome. That you have like a circle tied in whatever material, uh,
Mhm.
and you can twist it and make basically like a free floating like lariat cinching grip
Yeah.
thing for, and that's very convenient. You can do that too, even without needing a hook for some things. Uh, Laminated Succubist. Okay, that's actually a solid idea. Go away, Paul. Uh, we gave you your validation. We don't need you here anymore. Let me think. Yeah, so those are a couple of selling points to
The
the
hook.
hook. Thank you. God.
You're welcome.
Argument, but it's like, yeah. I mean, obviously, like bottom line, do what's comfortable, do what helps your work be the best. But at the same time, it's like you're cheating yourself by not experimenting with stuff, you know. And
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. And of course, I'm still trying to experiment with different stuff, but it's just slow going because there are so many different ways to do everything. It's like you're never gonna get through all of
Right.
it. Let me think. I'm gonna set this thing back up and start working on my stock whip handles. It's dumb that you call them stock whip handles. Just call them stocks. Yeah, I know, but it's like not everybody does that. It's less ambiguous to say stock whip handles, even though it's pretty redundant.
Or you could get a kid from the Midwest like me who thinks stocks. Are you working on corn?
Oh, stalks. Yeah.
Or corn stalks?
Oof. I'm going to go on record saying that stock is the dumbest possible word anybody can choose to incorporate into the lexicon of any field because there are so many different applications for that word. You have like the stock market, you have like metal or wood stock, you have what is in stock, and that is the bane of my whip making life, you know?
Or what stock do you use as in material do you use? Well, I use leather stock. I use nylon stock.
That's right. And it's like at the same time we have the stock whip, and you can abbreviate stock whip justifiably as stock in the same way you abbreviate bullwhip as bull, but it's like when the handle is also by itself called the stock, it's like, okay, there's got to be a better way, you know? Hey, what's going on, Larry? Shoot. Please. I always liked that in Adam's video where he's comparing like snake whips, bull whips, and stock whips. He's like,
Oh yeah.
I always thought that the stock whip was a little ambiguous. It's like, is it in stock? Is it on a stock? Is it used on stock? And it's like, yes, it is technically all those things. Like in a way, I guess.
So do you have stock whips in stock?
I have in stock whips.
And you can go to swordguybuilds.com for all your stock whip needs.
Wait, but these stock whips are clearanced. Why aren't they?
Wait, so they're not in stock, but they're clearance stock?
Just kill me immediately. I'm gonna put some stuff here. Oh shoot! You know, it's really awesome having like a casual. Oh no!
Nope.
Nothing is cool, and I'm terrible. It's really cool having this casual
Conversation.
soapbox to do stuff because I can say stuff like this. I know that basically everybody and their mother is focusing on half plat nylon stock whips. Thanks, Nick. But I like to do full plat, and I know that there are a few people who do full plat nylon stock whips, and something that I want everybody to be aware of, especially in nylon whip making, is the waste, because it's like, oh, it's cheap, we can just throw it away, it doesn't matter, the waste doesn't matter. And it's like, you're right, it's definitely cheap, but it's plastic and that damages the environment. So I try with a lot of stuff to You need to be stopped, Kit. You're too powerful. Let me think. So it's like one of the ways that I'm trying to reduce the plastic waste for my full plat stock whip handles, full plat nylon stock whip handles, is by doing this, where I've basically bolstered up my handle core with that flat strap, the synthetic webbing, you know,
Oh yeah.
something that I can just cut to length. There is zero
Mhm.
weight associated with it, and and it's like at this point there will only be one layer of braiding on it, whereas
Mhm.
before I was doing one layer of 12 plat and then I would start back up here with 16 and do that again, but you have so much like filler strand waste and all that stuff that it just becomes unjustifiable to do it for a
Yeah.
long time. So it's like if anybody out there wants to like take this to heart, I will not be offended.
And then like the waste factor is that's why I make all these crackers out of the guts is
Yeah,
you,
and
um
and I respect that a lot. I think it
I'll
takes a lot of time. I think I'm gonna say this again. Anybody watching, this dude is selling these crackers for like 50 cents a piece. Buy a lot of them, and he should also like definitely be charging more for them. So it's like it is doubly a wonderful investment. Please buy this guy's crackers.
just message me on Instagram, guys, if you do want some.
Yeah,
But here I'll show you my lot.
yeah.
Uh, this is what I've been working through. I take all the guts, pull them into 5 foot sections, and they're a little bit more. They're a lot easier to handle than and store, and I can just kind of tighten that thing up and put a few wraps of paracord around it and hold it together.
It's,
Uh,
you have the patience of a saint. I'm definitely not that.
well, when you cut your strands, you just I'm just careful to make sure they don't get too tangled and cut them into 5 foot sections and throw them all together.
That is a solid idea. Hey, it's
Hey,
Christian.
Chris.
Uh, other we actually had our local Christian on the chat a little while ago. Uh, but now we have Texas Christian, who has been very good to me in the past as well. Bought me barbecue
Oh man.
and let me sleep in his house, and it's like anyway. That was on my big road trip.
You big road trip.
Yeah, we made a nylon stock whip that looked like ketchup and mustard.
Oh, nice.
Uh,
Let's see. We're kind of running out of conversation. So again, if you guys have any questions, just shoot them our way, and we'll do our best to answer.
and I'm not sure. I'm not sure that this will make a lot of sense since I don't like have uh, basically any leather right here to work with, but I will also justifiably field leather questions. uh, oh, awesome! I'm glad you like it, Christian. Yeah, that was fun to make.
Oh, it looks like we're going to time out here in about 20 seconds, guys.
Oh,
We'll be right back after this short break, I guess. I'll get back on, and then Tory will be back on soon.
okay.
So see you guys in just a minute.
And we're back. That was interesting. I didn't know that would happen. Did they?
I didn't know either. This is the first time I've done one of these, so hopefully people will see we're back on.
Yeah.
We had a max of 8 viewers, so we were doing pretty good.
They shut us down because they didn't like our message.
The darn man.
Let's see. Yeah, cool. We're getting our guys.
Getting our viewers back. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh man. God, yeah. I always feel really guilty about all the filler strand waste. It's
Yeah.
like I get a big attack of guilt when I start doing this. You know, just like
Mm-hmm.
starting to pull it all out, and I'm like, okay, there's got to be a better way, or like, is there somebody that I can hand off this giant bag of of filler strands to? And it's like,
I mean, if you'd be willing to cut them into 5 foot sections, I'm not going to untangle that mess. But if you want to cut them into 5 foot sections, I'll even drive to your house and get them.
I'm definitely not doing that. But I don't know. I've thought about just putting out like a Facebook. Hey, it's my good friend Ashley. Good morning, Ashley.
Hi,
Uh,
Ashley.
yeah, I've thought about putting out like a Facebook post or whatever, saying like, "Hey, I've got this stuff. If you want it, it's totally free. Like, I'm not going to charge you to take my trash. But if you've got for a while, I was looking at like a plastics melter and extruder.
Oh yeah.
Hey, uh, it's all of my friends, uh, but yeah, they were like $1,800, and like I thought that it would be a good way to eliminate the plastic waste and make like some fun plastic handles. It's like,
Oh yeah.
I just thought that'd be a cute idea, but yeah, they're like $1,800, and I can't afford that mess. Uh,
And I'll let you know from my work in the mold building industry.
okay.
You don't nylon's a nasty thing to mess with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it smells and it's really funky. Especially once you get it into liquid, you got to get it really stinking hot, and it's just not fun. High density polyethylene's the stuff to go with. Nylons gets kind of rough.
Well, that's frustrating.
Soda cracker out of the soda bottle like King of Random. I'm sure we could, but I don't have uh, the lacing tools to make it. I probably could, but at the moment it's not on high on my to-do list. I got plenty of other crackers.
Yeah. Uh,
Don't mean to shoot you down too much, Mason.
I think that that's like a funny idea, but it's like who's that for?
Mm.
And yet it's like another thing that I try to come to terms with is uh like your crackers, regardless of what material they are, they're going to like break and shed into the environment that you're cracking in, right? So
Right.
if they're a synthetic like nylon or anything else that we use for this stuff,
Mm.
or like a soda bottle, it's
Yeah.
um it's not going to, it doesn't just like dissipate, it's just going
Mm.
into the grass or into whatever environment you're in. So it's like I would love to have uh, a solid type of cracker that was a natural material, something biodegradable. But it's like
Yeah.
I think I experimented once with like sisal.
Oh yeah. That stuff's like really flaky though.
Yeah, it was not great. Not a lot of strength
It's real cool.
on cutting out and tapering strands. Okay.
That's yours, Tory.
Uh, Congratulations, first off. I guess I haven't been on Facebook today or Instagram much, but I'll look for it. Kristen, that's cool. I'm looking forward to it. Let me tips on cutting it out and tapering. I'm still at the stage where I'm trying to like hone in those skills, but it's like well, as far as tapering them, when you get them like stretched and up on the hook, or vice or whatever you're using, Isaac. uh, let me think. Where was I going? Right. If you got a Bayless gauge like this, oh, and you can actually see where mine is like eaten in here at the end. See, like right up there.
Turn it, yeah, there.
where
Look,
my knife is
that.
going. That is, you run your lace through it and you just like plant your knife in it, and as you're dragging it back, that's how you get a consistent size. And what I do, uh, if Paul, if you're still here,
He is not.
oh, he's not. Did he?
No, he's not. I've seen him join back in.
Okay. Let me think. Uh, what was I going to say? Okay, yeah. So what I like to do is like drag it back straight, and then after 6 inches, a foot, however long makes sense for what you're making, just like step the knife over a tiny bit, and then draw it back again. That's a fair way to get a taper. Not perfect, but yes. Okay. So I hope that that made sense. So yeah, it's basically it doesn't really get it to like a taper, but you have a section that's this big, and then one that's this big. It's basically like little steps down, and overall, that will still affect a solid taper, especially when your core tapers smoothly. The core I do just sort of eyeball right now, and actually another thing. I'm not getting any work done on these. I'll come back to those in a minute. Another thing that you can do. Another thing that you can do is, okay, you have your bayless gauge and you have your knife, and you don't let me see if I can get a better angle here. There we go. So you can hold it like this, and you don't plant it into the gauge, but you hold it like floating away from it by just a little bit. And as you draw it back, you just slide it over like that. For the parts that don't matter, like belly tails, that's where I'm trying to practice that right now. Though of course, ultimately, I will be able to. Hopefully, I will be able to do that for everything. But yeah, those are a couple of things to work on and practice. But it's like, yeah, that's definitely, to me, it's less difficult to, well, it's less of a gamble to actually like try to get the taper than it is to get like the right taper, So it's like at that point you do kind of just need a certain amount of experience that I'm still trying to get to work toward, Okay, let's see. I'm about to do braided handle keepers for these nylon stocks, so it's like I'm trying to arrange my strands just so, and then get them on the dowel, and I don't know, slowing myself down at every step, Do you prefer braided keepers or bound on keepers for your nylon stuff?
Um, I I haven't most of the stock whips I've experimented with. I'm still learning on the stock whip side of things. Most of the stuff I've learned is from Nick's video for half flat whips.
Okay.
So I would say bound on, but I definitely much more appreciate the look of a full plat handle.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm like getting to the point where I appreciate the half plat like bound on look.
Mm-hmm.
But
And,
yeah, for some reason I'm kind of wishy with you. I like the solid continuum of color
mm-hmm.
look, and
And
yeah.
it depends on what you do, like for your half plat area too. Like if it's like a nice wood or something like that, or if you can polish the metal, or Adam Fieldson with Whipworks. I know he actually put a brand in his, which I think looks really cool.
Oh wow. I don't think I've. Yeah,
Uh,
awesome. No, I like Adam's videos. He's
yes,
he's a very fun dude.
yeah. Adam, if you see this, come out to the next WhipCon. We'd love to meet you.
Yeah, yeah, seriously. Uh, shoot. I'm trying to decide. Braided in keepers on nylon whips can be a little tricky. Oh, when you do them like I do. But that's because I'm a douchey prima donna, and it's got to be just so for it to be right. Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
That is very true, Chris.
No, I think this is right. I'm gonna leave it like. Well, my train of thought is suffering. I'm trying to do this. Isaac will begin a festive folk dance to keep you entertained while I am here busy doing my own stupid thing.
Yeah, you guys won't want to see me dance. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Mason, that would look really cool. Or I could send it to you for weathering, and you could make it look like steel. The stuff you do with cardboard, man, is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I forgot that he's done like some cosplay, like swords and stuff like that. That's awesome.
His machetes are crazy that he makes.
Awesome.
The weathering you do on those Mason is awesome.
Okay. Yes, I think that's where I need to be. Let me think. Yeah, I was speaking of the wood burning idea. A while back, I was able to collaborate with @mediocre_babs on some stuff, and she burned handles for me. Really cool.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, and there was a one that she did with like a Norse dragon, this type of imagery on it, and that was really cool.
Do you still have any of those in stock? I know you had a magic one.
Yes, that is the one that I still have in stock. I think I might actually have to might have to move it to clearance soon. Because it is of that like older construction that I'm not as excited about anymore. I am not in a position to take trades. If that was directed at Isaac, then of course that's cool.
And I'd love to, but it'd have to be after I finish schooling. I'm not in the position where I'm making at the moment as much as I'd like to be.
Yeah, yikes. Yeah, it's tough because like I don't know. I want to support friends and all that stuff and get excited about other people's work, but it's like times are hard. You got to focus on business, and it's just messy, you know.
Yeah. But Mason, when come August, when I'm back up and making whips, I'll definitely hit you up and we can talk about a trade. I'd love to do that with you.
That'd be awesome. 'Cause I don't know if I actually said this before, but for anybody watching, Isaac's work is admittedly very solid. I love the feeling. It's like they have weight to them, like they have the mass, but they still crack almost like weightlessly. You know, it's a really nice feeling.
Well, thank you, sir, very much.
Jeez.
And for anybody watching who hasn't tried one of Tory's whips, his whips are also very good. they're lighter and very flowy and very smooth on their rollouts, which is something and incredibly impressively smooth rollouts to them.
People ask me sometimes, "Are your whips better than Isaac's?" And I don't know. I couldn't say yes, but I don't know. Is a Ferrari better than a Ford? I'm not sure. That's up to interpretation. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Obviously, they're better. That was a joke. It didn't get any laughs, so now I feel bad. Okay.
No, you're good. You're good. I was trying to see where you were going with that too, but
I was trying to see where I was going with that. Okay. So Kristen kind of got it, and now I get to feel a little less bad about making that really long walk of a joke.
I'd say both of our whips are very decent, but you definitely have the experience, and you've definitely made probably a few hundred more whips than I have. So
I really I really got to start like actually keeping count because I never have, and it's like,
mhm.
is it 200? Is it 500? Like I have no idea. I really have no idea. I can look up like my sale numbers from last year,
Mhm.
but even that is not going to reflect like the past 5 years, you know. So it's whatever. Uh,
Right.
but yeah, obviously you'll get the same experience.
Oh
Same
yeah.
experience. Uh, yeah, this will be fine. I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna
Good.
do it this way,
That's
guys.
that's that's the way you should do it, Tori.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate you weighing in.
Not that you asked, but I just thought I'd get up on my soapbox.
Let's see. Oh, that was your arm. I thought I saw like a big wall of text like going up, and I was like, oh wow, did like 16 people just join our humble chat?
Nope, we're still at a grand total of five.
I still feel very popular.
So do I. Uh, let's see. Any
But
tools that you found that you like to use for whip making, Tori?
tools that I've found I like to use. My hands. Uh, I don't know. I'm actually, for anybody who doesn't know, I am a a crazy level whip snob. Uh, I definitely I definitely have some opinions, and one of them is that tools as a concept is overplayed. Uh, it's like whip making should be more about what a person can do than what the tools than the tool. You know, it just. Uh, anyway, that being said, the same basic stuff that everybody uses for nylon. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you need admittedly basic tools for nylon, but it's the same stuff that everybody knows. Uh, for leather, I think I only use a small handful. There's the knife and the bayless gauge, obviously, and I use those for pretty much every part of it. And then like a stapler, you know, and
Mhm.
those scissors occasionally. But like I think those might be the only tools that I use for leather
What
stuff.
um what do you use for a knife when you go for leather? Do you just use a box knife, or I saw you had something. I didn't really get a good look at it.
Uh, it is this little utility knife,
Oh, I got you.
and I've got two, and I'm trying to decide like what their different utility is.
Mhm.
But it's like yeah, I like this one because it's got such a low profile, you know.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of people might use like an actual like a bush knife or
Hmm.
or like a big box cutter or whatever, and it's like
Hmm.
those will obviously like do it. I keep questioning my braiding on this on the keepers. I gotta assume it's gonna be okay. Jeez. Let me think. Yeah, but those big knives. Actually, it's to me, it's not even that the knife itself is too big, like the body of the knife, but the blade. I like that the blades on these tiny utility knives are very thin. You know, like I feel like when I use a blade that's like regular utility blade thickness or like knife thickness or whatever,
Mhm.
to like walk around in the hide.
Yeah.
That's probably just me, you know, not like having a lot of dexterity, but it's like, yeah, I just feel more in control with the little knives.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, that's I think I might even have the same knife that you do, Kristen. That's my my other one that I like a lot, uh, and yeah, it's just really like doesn't matter whatever you have that will work. It's like, oh well, now you can make a whip, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's convenient, but it also like breeds a lot of tacky like one-liners, like the Ron Edwards book, I think, where he's like, all you need to start is uh, some leather, a sharp knife, a steady hand, and some patience. And it's like, okay, that's okay. Calm down there, buddy. Like we understand what a hand craft is, you know.
Mhm. And hello, Juan.
Yes. Uh, Wonderful to make your acquaintance, friend. Uh, awesome. I'm trying to remember what the patterning I wanted to do in this stupid whip was. Uh, it's like I'm kind of full of myself for like not needing the like face plat or like graph paper or
Mhm.
whatever. But at the same time, it's like I have to think about it a lot
Yeah,
harder
it's
than
like,
I would if I
what was I
did.
doing again?
Yeah, no, it's like no joke. It's not pretty. There are much more efficient ways for me to be doing this. Nice. Yeah, that's the dream. Oh man. Let me think. Uh, that's, it sounded like you were being mauled by a dog. When
Oh
you
no, it's just a scissor on the table.
did you say you've pretty much only practiced uh, half plat nylon stock whips?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, Let me think. Are there woods that you prefer? Woods that you stay away from?
Um, I the few stock whips I've made have all been oak handles.
Okay.
And they I haven't seen any problem with them. One of these days I want to try and make, and hello again, Juan. Uh, 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 like an aluminum or a carbon fiber handle and just see how that feels. Um,
The ones that I've got right here, they are carbon fiber. Only because I didn't have any more uh
Aluminum.
thank you. Yes. uh yeah, very very tough today. Uh but yeah, so they are carbon fiber, and the carbon fiber is lighter than the aluminum, which, you know, is fine. It's not awesome, but it does give it a little bit more comfortable feel, I think.
Yeah.
No, I'll be excited if you do ever get the chance to do some more experimenting with different stuff like that. I feel like I don't know. Of course, one of the things people say should be like a pivotal aspect of a stock whip is like a flexible handle, right? So it's like I always
Mhm.
feel a little silly doing uh
Out of carbon fiber or aluminum where it's not as flexible.
yeah. So or oak, you know. It's like
Yeah.
should we strictly be using like cane and rattan and stuff like that, or like I don't know. It's like I know, yeah, a little bit of flex is maybe. I don't know. I don't think I really have like an actual opinion on it right now. It's just, yep, that's different. Uh,
Mhm.
but whether it's better or shoot.
And off for Mason, have you what do you use? Do you use carbon fiber tubing or do you use a solid?
Let's see. What? Oh no. What I have is it is a solid. Uh, it's a dowel. It's a carbon fiber dowel and turned wood on a stock whip. Uh, God, there's got to be a better way. Uh, please kill me. Oh, actually, that's pretty good. Let me think. Okay, Christian, I have not tried that yet, despite knowing that I want to. Uh, that's one of those things that I think would be useful if, because it's like you can't really turn on a lathe anything that's not a hardwood, but the diameter that you would have to turn it down to in order to be like usable as a stock whip handle, I I I don't know what sort of longevity it would have at that point with the stress that it undergoes. So it's like you might be looking at doing the usual thing of like drilling it out and sticking some like carbon steel in there or something like that to give it some more support. But it's just, I don't know, just something to think about. I don't have a real answer for that one. I just haven't tried it,
Uh,
even though I want to.
I'd like to get my hands on some aluminum one of these days, if uh, and some kind of a lathe where I can chuck it up into and just try and sand and get it to like a high near polish that I know you can get aluminum to,
Okay,
and just have that so you have this like almost chrome look for the open spot on the half flat stock whip. I think that would look pretty killer.
that probably would look pretty nice. I think an issue that I've noticed with well, I mean, it's not really an issue. It's just how it behaves. But for that, I think it would be an issue with aluminum is that it oxidizes almost immediately. You know, so
Oh yeah,
if you're you could get it polished and looking nice, but then
it'll oxidize back.
it probably wouldn't be as quick as I think it would. But I don't know. I'm just not confident. You know.
Yeah.
Uh, shoot. Yeah, there we go. You might be able to like keep it looking that way if you real quick hit it with some uh
Like
like
a
a
lacquer or something like that, or a
yeah,
clear spray paint.
that could be something to try. But at the same time, it's like I don't know. Like you tell me, it would probably be fine. Uh, and I'm probably just
Uh,
being a complainer about it. You know.
from what I've seen off of the aluminum that I've machined, because when you machine aluminum, it turns you'll get like the oxidized look off of it, and it'll shine back up, or it turns out to be very shiny.
Okay.
The parts I've seen and that I still have left over from my machining days, it hasn't oxidized, but
Okay.
um, but I don't know. It might be a good thing to maybe give it a short coat of lacquer and Mason. That would look really cool. Um,
Carbon fiber ferrule on the next one. That would. I feel like when everybody talks about that stuff, they're probably thinking about that video that Bill Nones posted probably like a few years ago now, where he was like, "Oh yeah, I think I'm the first person to do this. It's a carbon fiber ferrule capped with tungsten rings, something
oh
like that."
yeah,
And it's like, oh yeah, it looked cool, but at the same time, uh, it's not that cool. Like, calm down a little bit, buddy. um, like it's a good look,
Hmm.
I don't know. It put a sour taste in my mouth the way he was
The way
talking.
you said it.
Yeah.
It does with the when you can really see like the weaved carbon fiber. It does look pretty sweet though.
That's fair. You know what? I'm gonna sort of flip the gosh uh flip the room
Conversation.
here. Uh, I've been buying my carbon fiber materials from dragonplate.com. Uh, but if any of you hanging out right now know of a different place or place with better prices, better shipping, I don't know anything, uh, mention it in the comments and let me know because I'd be interested in hearing that.
Possibly check out Hobby King.
Okay.
Because I know they have a lot of carbon fiber stuff for model airplanes and like quadcopters and drones and stuff like that. So maybe check out through them, and you might be able to find something.
You said
It might be,
Hobby King.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. For some reason, maybe it's just because I haven't like done a lot of looking around in it. I've just always felt
Mhm.
like it's not the best way or the best place that I've been going to. But I don't
Mhm.
know. I don't really have a reason to think that. It's just like because I haven't done my homework, you know.
Yeah.
I'll try to show real quick what I'm working on here. Can we see it? Not really. Oh wait, I can just
You can move your phone.
yeah. Okay,
Oh,
so
nice.
this is what I'm trying to do here, and I'm trying to match it with the patterning here on my thong, or not match it, but put something similar on it. You know,
Mhm. And
uh,
Tori, this is a family show. You really shouldn't be showing your phone off.
I just the people want to see. It's not even my fault. Uh, uh, I haven't looked at Amazon, and there are a few reasons for that, but it just I don't know. You're right that it's like I don't really have an excuse, you know.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know what Amazon has, but um, and sorry, the native Californians will know this better, but where the 15 runs north, um, across the 210 a little ways. I don't know what Amazon's got going on, but I was flying up around there the other day, low, like 1,000 feet above the ground or something like that,
We get it.
and
You
they have
fly planes.
and they have all these like big, huge, dark blue prime shipping containers. I don't know what they're planning on building out there, but it's just a bunch of shipping containers. It's weird.
They're building an empire, Isaac.
Yeah.
God, Amazon, Bezos. Uh, nah, actually, I've been told that there are uh, there are highly affordable uh, nylon retailers on Amazon, and it's like I've just been going to Paracord Galaxy for a few
Mhm.
years now, you know, but I don't know. That's another thing that I need to check out, I guess.
Uh,
What
yeah,
are
I actually got an email from them a few days ago, and apparently they're running out of some of their stock. Uh,
oh really?
yeah, some of the electric blue, the SKU on it starts with a 163 code, and apparently whoever they get that from has shut down from all the virus stuff that's been going on.
You know what? I think I actually got that email too. Uh, Yeah, I
So for
it's like
the
I kinda, it kind of just like I read it and I was like, oh yeah, whatever, that's cool. And I didn't really. Yeah, you're right. Amazon is
definitely taking over
100%
the
taking
world.
over the world in like the worst possible way. But whatever, that's not what we're talking about. Uh, shoot, kill me. Uh, hey Tori, why don't you graph that out? Because I don't have to. You graph it out.
Well, we got Chris and Mason on here, so
Uh,
um,
paracord that we won't use.
I don't use the Walmart stuff anymore. Uh,
That's interesting. Bad experience.
just after I got a hold of some of the stuff from Paracord Galaxy, I noticed that the braiding in the paracord is so much tighter,
Interesting.
and it feels a lot. Um, there's a lot more tension to it, and I would believe more durability than the Walmart or Lowe's or Menards brand, which has a lot looser plate. I put the two together, and you can actually the little cross hatches are like double the size on some of the Walmart and other stores compared to like Paracord
Let
Galaxy.
me think. So when you are you talking about those little like 50-foot hanks that they have
Yeah,
sometimes? Uh,
yeah.
did you check the material that it was saying? Like, did it say nylon or did it say nylon and poly blends?
I can't remember.
Because
Uh,
like when I first noticed that, like a couple years ago, I guess, was when I
mhm.
really started noticing. Oh shoot, I haven't been using nylon. I've been using like polyester. You know,
Oh yeah.
I think in that way, the yeah the weave of the cord is a little different, and it's also technically like a different material or
Mhm.
set of material. I don't know, uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, not great for whips. I've used that stuff to put BBs in when I do that, but I almost never do that anymore. Uh,
Yeah.
just because it opens up a little easier than the
Mhm.
nylon stuff. But other than that, I basically don't touch it.
Yeah, it does work decently well for. It does, like you were saying, for putting BBs in. Not exactly like threading over a steel rod for a handle, but it does work as a good BB sack.
Yes, actually, here's a controversial idea. Uh, what I've been doing lately when I put a BB core into a bullwhip
Mhm.
is like I leave, maybe an inch or so unfilled, and
Uh-huh.
obviously it's going to go onto my handle, but I haven't been like sheathing it on there. I've just been
Mhm.
like if this is the end of my handle,
Uh-huh.
just like lay it on there and then bind it.
Huh.
Like, and then of course I got a bunch of little
Lash it.
strings going over that,
Mhm.
and then sort of like lightly bind it together, and that it's been working pretty well. It's like you can't there's no like offset in the thong to the handle or anything like that.
Mhm.
Paracord sources. Yes. I'm not sure that it's because of the makers or the brands or anything. I think it might just be the colors, because like almost all the white I've ever had was like sort of stiff and springy, you know. Uh, and for example, like all the electric blue I've ever had is like soft and supple. And there are things that are like in between. There's a branch brown, I think, that I'm not sure if it's okay. I'm not a chemist.
And
My guess is for something like the white. Uh, okay, so when you melt it, you see that the white is not white; it's clear, and that means that what we perceive as opaque white really just comes from the thickness of that clear it's like it kills the light coming in, right?
Mm.
It will be able to do that more effectively if it's thicker. So my guess is for the white, the individual tiny threads that are all woven together are probably marginally thicker than they are for some of the other colors, and I bet that is kind of what makes it stiffer. But that's just a fully uneducated guess.
Now, I've actually found something out, and I don't know which colors had it, but with the paracord store now, that I found out that they use, or not the paracord store, Paracord Galaxy, that they use different sources to get their paracord. They're not actually the production site.
Sure.
Um, and I don't know if you can tell this on camera, but these are two different styles of inner guts, and one's actually thicker and looser bound than the other. If you can tell that the top one's the thicker and the bottom one's the thinner. And I
I
didn't count the strands or anything like that, but um,
I think I know what you're referring to. Paracord Galaxy has a bunch of crafters line colors, and
yes.
the inner strands and the inner strands, pardon me, in those are like fluffy and spongy and weird. Uh,
Hmm.
and I think, darn, I don't remember. I think they were still calling it nylon. Those weird
Hmm.
inner strands, but it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, you like if you're making crackers out of that stuff, you couldn't really use that to make a cracker, you know?
yeah. I mean, what I found is you twist it, the fluffier ones, you twist it tighter than the thinner ones. Like when I make a cracker, I'll take my hemostats, clip it on the end, give it a spin, and drop my thing, uh, and just give it one good spin on the thinner ones. But then on the other extra ones, I'll give it an extra, get it a little tighter, and it's still ends up being a decent cracker.
Okay.
And then the fluff is the extra fluff is nice.
Well, I guess I'm just a wrong boy.
But that's just, I mean, from making a couple 100,000 crackers. Uh,
Oh, look at me, I'm Isaac. I make crackers all the time. I fly planes. I'm so interesting. I'm, I'm very sorry. I love you, Isaac.
no, I know you do, man. I was just trying to think of something good to come back at you with.
Like, throw this out there. Everybody in the comments, please make fun of me. I want you to trash talk me. My life literally depends on it. Uh, shoot. There we go. I hate feeling like I've missed an
A
under.
spot.
Yeah, it's like thinking that I've done the same side twice. You know?
Mhm.
Damn it.
Now you're doing a pair, so are you doing the braids opposite, or are you doing them the same?
I will do them the same. I kind of stopped being stoked on doing it that way. It just uh I don't know. I started realizing that it was taking extra time to do the same amount of work, and I was
Yeah.
like, I can keep doing this, but I shouldn't when time's a factor, you know.
Hmm.
You know what? Actually, I think the last time I did that may have been that post that I made last year where I was talking about like, oh yeah, I did this quirky thing for Archie. He ordered a matched pair, and I did all the braiding on them like invert from each other. Uh, and I think that may have been like the last time I did that before I started going, oh wait, but that's dumb. Oh man, I like doing quirky stuff like that, but it's like I don't know. Like when there's no payoff, and I'm the only person who will ever know that it is that way, you know.
Hmm.
Oh no, please please trash talk me. Like I'm going into withdrawals. Like when Paul and I talk, we kind of give each other the business, you know. And because I have not been able to hang out with him for a while, uh, I'm not getting that same input in my life, you know. So it's like that in a personal way. That's something that I'm trying to work on and learn is like because I've always been a very sensitive person, but now in my adulthood I'm going like, oh wait, but that's a terrible way to be for this and this reason, you know. And it's like if I just get used to taking crap from people, but then like turning it back on them, I think that'll be a healthier move for me, you know, rather than just like internalizing everything everybody says to me as being some sort of slight, you know. It's like, dude, come on, calm down.
It's a lot of crackers.
That's funny and very hurtful, but I feel like I don't know.
I don't know, guys. Comment. Who do you think has the bigger forehead?
Oh shit, it's me. That was a visual I was actually not prepared for. Oof. Come on, I got this. I can do this. Show this again. So I've made a little bit of progress, and it looks okay. But I'm like, I know that right here I'm going to have to introduce extra strands, so I need to like time out where the patterning stops and where like a brief diamond plait will start.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It's tough and dumb. Just like Mason. I hope that landed because I was very proud of that. If I had come up with it like, 3 minutes ago, it would have been much better.
I'll show you my stack. Let's see here. That's what I got going now. It's getting a little
Nice.
bigger.
No, you're making a lot of progress. At least one.
Probably. Mason.
Was that, as the kids say, a big oof?
I don't know what the kids say anymore. I'm too dang old.
There's the truth. I'll tell you what the kids say. Dumb stuff. That was weak. That was weak. I'll get back in it later on.
I remember even like in college, a few years back, I went back to my high school to help out with some stuff at the theater, and one of the high school kids was trying to explain to me what a dab was.
Like,
and I'm like, so what is it? He says it's like when you put your head down, and I'm like, so why is that cool? And I don't know, some kid did it. So you really don't know why this is cool, but it's really cool?
Oh yeah, I just latch on to dumb stuff because I'm 12. Okay, buddy. Yeah. Oh wait, you said this was a college student.
No, this was a high school. I was a college student. The kid who was telling me this was like a sophomore in high school.
Oh, okay. Well, that tracks. You ever wonder why everybody in the world but you and me is dumb? Oh, goodness. Almost got this patterning coming out. Somehow, I can't help but feel like I'm messing it up. Maybe that's just because of who I am as a person.
And I just hit 15% battery on my phone. I'm going to have to figure out how to use a charger.
I have I have the charger plugged into an extension cord going across the room because my phone is hella old, and I charge it when I go to bed, and it's just already trying to die.
Yeah, I was like 60% when we started,
Oh man.
but we'll see. We'll see. Once I get the 5% or 10% ding, then I'll start being worried.
Yeah. I miss those days. Mine hits like, geez, like 20%, and there's a 50-50 chance as to like whether my call will continue or if it'll just drop because,
Oof.
yeah, it's not great. Not great.
Our viewership is slowly dwindling.
As it should.
Yes, as it should.
That is only correct. You know what? And I am noticing that my train of thought is suffering while I'm trying to do the patterning and stuff. I'll probably bounce out of here so that I can keep going with this.
Yep, that sounds like a good plan, buddy. I think I'll bounce out here pretty soon too.
All right, cool.
Um,
Thank you very much, Isaac. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much, everybody, for watching.
All right. Yeah. Hope to catch y'all soon. Later.
Yep. Later.